All right, so I'm hoping this, let's see if this gets me uh, any issues here. The internet can totally see you now. To stop, use your encoder. I am sitting here running this live stream to see if I'm having any issues. And I'm wondering whether I'm going to have to get a new wireless router, because that is a problem. Well, at least so far it seems to be working. 2 minutes in and I haven't been dumped yet. Hello, Michael M. How are you? All right. I'm um I'm broadcasting here from home today because the I've been having a lot of internet signal issues. So you can actually help me out and let me know if the stream drops. Isn't this exciting? It's been I do live streams in the morning for my Patreon members, and uh, during the live streams, there's some kind of signal issue here in my home, so the live streams keep dropping in and out. And of course, now that I'm doing this in test mode, it's run 3 minutes and it's been totally clean. So I don't know. Um, we're going to have our regular live stream tonight, either at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Eastern time. So um, actually, with the election today, I have a little bit less to do, which is nice. Um, so so far, coming up on 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Uh, Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm not really doing a weathercast this morning. So far, so good, Miss Pisces. I agree. Thank you for acknowledging that. And you're new to the board. It's the first time I've seen you on the chat. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here. I just basically popped on, so I guess people are just like, jumping on little by little. There isn't a whole lot happening this morning weather-wise at my house, but the radar is actually pretty busy. I'm gonna just try and let's move things around here. So here's the latest radar view, and got some pretty strong showers coming into western New Jersey now. Some pretty heavy showers and some gusty winds. One of the things that's happening today, by the way, is that you're getting this warm front. The warm sector has struggled to move in. I still have an east wind here with temperatures in the 50s. So you're getting a lot of development here as we try to get into the warm sector. The showers with the cold front out to the west. Well, I don't know how much there's going to be for those showers to work on. This is something that the models did not do a good job of picking up on. The NAM's having a bit of a tough time here because it actually weakens a lot of this morning into this afternoon and shifts it all up to the north. Well, you know what? I'm not seeing that right now. I'm seeing a lot of weather going on down further south in eastern PA, down into Maryland and Delaware. A very unstable air mass that's built down that far south. Um, YouTuber, the Teleconnections. All right. Um, I should have just made this an ask me anything kind of day, or ask me almost anything anyhow. You know, the teleconnections to me weren't really, giving any kind of off the wall signals, and as of yesterday, and they still aren't. So we could bring that up front and center here for you. Give me a second, and just let me know if you see the signal drop out because I can't have the chat board up at the same time as I'm pulling up a window. So it's hard. So here are the teleconnections. The EPO actually is probably the one that's sending, I think, the strongest signal here, in that you're seeing it, strongly negative going into the weekend and through a good chunk of next week. So this is at least telling us, of all the signals to watch, uh, as far as winter weather is concerned, the EPO to me is probably the most important when it's in a strongly negative position. That is usually that's points to cold air in the eastern part of the United States. And with the EPO mostly negative, it does have some staying power. The other thing I would point out is that you do have the PNA, the Pacific North America Index, moving up to a positive level. So just excuse me, everybody. I'm having my windows done. Hey, of course. Where? Yeah, this one. Right back over there. Through that door. Uh, so uh, certainly the EPO suggests that we're going to get into some colder weather here, and for the first part of next week. Actually, the overnight weather models, for me, I thought they were very impressive with regards to the cold. The PNA going positive around the 11th or 12th. You have to watch that time frame. That would be Sunday, Monday. So a lot of times when you have these big changes in the indices, where they go from a sharply negative position and very quickly run up towards zero. So that's telling you that a big ridge is building out in the western part of the U.S. and it actually goes somewhat positive as we move into the middle of next week. So the PNA also is a measure of a deep trough in the east. The PNA is a relatively complex measure geographically because it looks at the conditions in the Pacific Northwest. It looks at the upper air conditions in the changes in pressures in the southeast U.S. and it looks at the change in pressures in the tropical Pacific out from 120 west to 100 to about Hawaii, that whole zone in there. So you've got three different geographic zones that play into calculating the PNA. So when it goes strongly positive, it basically is telling you that you've got a strong ridge in the west, deep trough in the east, and also a deep trough along 160, which would make sense, okay? Because if you've got a strong ridge in the west, you're going to have a deep trough out further west into the Atlantic at about 160 west. So it's it all makes sense in the final analysis. All right, let me come back to you guys here 1 second. And I'm hoping that the signal held up. So if the signal did not hold up, yep, naturally it did. No rain yet in Atlantic City. Might be a wild Karen Mullen. It's going to take a little bit for that rain area to move east. Do you agree with the deep trough being created by the Euro model next week, Andrew Del Virginia? Well, yeah, the GFS is no different. I mean, the GFS is a very impressive monstrous trough in the eastern part of the U.S. as well. So, the models are all pretty consistent. I think the question is going to be whether there's going to be some kind of low that's going to develop on the frontal boundary just offshore as the cold air is coming in. And if it does, I think there's a chance that we could see some snows in the interior part of New England and through upstate New York. I think the lake effect machine is going to get turned on to some degree as well. I think the GFS 18Z model from yesterday, which had this sort of ridiculous, the trough way to the west and cutting off and you know some kind of low for the middle part of next week, running up the east the Appalachians. I don't believe that that is going to be the case. All right, folks. It looks like my signal test worked. So it's my wireless router that's the problem. So that is at least a good thing for me to know. And thanks for helping me out. YouTuber, I think it's pretty much done. I mean, if we wind up getting something that forms out in the middle of the Atlantic to knock off another name, that would be it. I don't think we're going to see anything impact the U.S. At this anymore. I think that's pretty much a done deal. All right. So, all right, everybody, have a good day. We're going to do a regular YouTube live stream tonight. Probably I'll shoot for 6 o'clock Eastern time. But with the elections going on, I got to be a little bit flexible. So but we're shoot for 6 o'clock. I'll put it up on the YouTube channel, the schedule for it later today, and you can plan your day accordingly. Okay, and that's it. All right. Thanks for being a big help this morning, folks. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you. We'll see you a little bit later on.